Welcome to Delivering High Quality Content, Part 1. There are a lot of benefits to delivering high quality content. If you make this content relevant to your affiliates, you can help them make more money, which likely means they're going to get higher conversions, which all translates into an increase in sales for your program. It also helps your affiliates rank higher in the search engines, which means more visibility for them and more visibility for you. Now, when it comes down to the content, it comes in a lot of different forms, and you should think about varying those forms and increasing the content that you're supplying to affiliates. You probably have a lot of content laying around, and if you reuse it and repurpose it, it can probably be very beneficial to affiliates. Not every affiliate's going to want to use your content, or some may use parts of it, others may modify it and make it meet their specific needs. But by giving them high quality content, you're at least ensuring that your marketing message is clear, that points you want to make are getting across, and that you're providing additional resources that they need to work harder and make your program a success. Now, there's a lot of different types of content that work well for affiliates. There are articles, blog posts, podcasts, videos, user-generated content, product reviews, news, market research, product descriptions, images, and photos. All of these are not going to be appropriate for every merchant site. Pick the ones that you think will work best for you. So let's take a look at each of these. Articles are basically what you think about when you read something in a magazine or a newspaper. This content is not blog content. It's not your opinion. It's more often based on research. It has quotes from other people besides just your company. It has quotes from people that are authorities in the industry. You can focus these articles on issues and trends. Whatever your market segment is, you can find issues that are related to it and focus articles on that. Let's say you're supplying luggage. Perhaps you want to write an article on how more people are carrying their bags onto planes to avoid bag check-in fees. This would be a great trend story. You want to keep these articles pretty short though. 400 to 500 words works really well. If they're longer than that, break them into logical parts and say part 1, part 2, part 3, make them a series. People don't want to read things that are really, really long. Now, as I said before, these articles are usually authoritative. They're based on research. They include quotes, cite market research, and take a more formal tone when writing them. And again, you're not offering your opinion. But also the downside to these types of articles is that it can be time consuming for you to create. But if you have the resources, they're actually very useful to affiliates. Now, another type of content is a blog. Now, a blog is a great way to give a voice and a personality to your brand and to interact with customers. It's a great source of content for your affiliates, and you may want to just alert them to specific posts that might be of interest to them. A blog is a lot less formal than the articles we talked about. You're allowed to give your opinion. Now, you also want to keep these posts about 400 to 500 words. That's kind of the sweet spot. And by having it at that length, it makes it long enough that you can go in depth on certain things, but it also makes it easy to read and more likely that people will read the entire article and not just abandon it. So the other things you need to know are try to update your blog frequently. It'll help you in the search rankings, and it will keep you getting indexed in Google. Blogs are also, again, a great vehicle to create a personality and a voice, and it's also a great way to share your experiences and connect with consumers. Put sort of a more human feel on it. You can talk about, like I said, if you're a luggage site, you could talk about your experiences as a traveler or with a particular product you have. And again, people feel when they know and trust you and sort of there's a personality and a voice, they're much more receptive to making purchases. So just be genuine, and today's consumers are pretty savvy and they can tell when you're attempting to manipulate them. The other thing that makes for great content is audio. And a great way to do that is podcasts. You can really diversify your content offerings by letting people listen in. And like a blog, it helps you establish that personal connection, but it's even greater because, you have a tone and a way of speaking. And so it lets you convey emotion to people, and it provides you the opportunity to bring on guests. Now, be sure that you want to include some kind of text with your audio to make sure that it's indexed. You want to have key points from the episode and include links from things that you mentioned in the podcast. This isn't going to work for everybody, but some market segments may lend themselves more to this. And if you're creating this content, why not send it out to your affiliates? I mean, I think it's a great way to give them an option. Again, going back to the luggage site, saying, we've made this podcast with somebody from the TSA. This might be beneficial if you want to use it. And not all your affiliates are going to use it, but some will. Now, if you want to learn more, you can listen to Delivering High Quality Content Part 2.